Well, welcome and thank you for joining me. My name is Dave Sundberg, and I welcome you to another episode of This Old Pew, a weekly devotional effort from Trinity St. James United Methodist Church. As I've been huddling and sort of self-quarantining in these difficult times with COVID, and recovering from derecho, and now the unrest that's going on in our country, I ran across a passage from Pope Francis, our present-day Pope of the Roman Catholic Church, from his book, The Church of Mercy, A Vision for the Church. And it struck me as being appropriate, or at least having some meaning for me in these troubled times, so I thought I'd like to share that with you. It's entitled The Logic of Power and Violence, and it's actually a reprint of a homily that he gave at the Vigil of Prayer for Peace on the 7th of September, 2013. So take a moment, get yourself centered, quiet your mind from the noise of the day, and listen to what Pope Francis has to say. Isn't the world we want a world of harmony and peace? In ourselves, in our relations with others, in families, in cities, in and between nations. And does not true freedom mean choosing ways in this world that lead to the good of all and are guided by love? But then we wonder, is this the world in which we are living? Creation retains its beauty, which fills us with awe, and it remains a good work. But there is also violence, division, disagreement, war. This occurs when human beings, the summit of creation, stop contemplating beauty and goodness and withdraw into their own selfishness. When we think only of ourselves and our own interests and place ourselves in the center, when we permit ourselves to be captivated by the idols of dominion and power, when we put ourselves in God's place, then all relationships are broken and everything is ruined. Then the door opens to violence, indifference, and conflict. This is precisely what the passage in the book of Genesis seeks to teach us in the story of the fall. The man enters into conflict with himself. He realizes that he is naked, and he hides himself because he's afraid. See Genesis 3:10. He's afraid of God's glance. He accuses the woman, she who is flesh of his flesh. Genesis 3:12. He breaks harmony with creation, and he begins to raise his hand against his brother to kill him. Can we say that from harmony he passes to disharmony? No, there is no such thing as disharmony. There is either harmony or we fall into chaos, where there is violence, argument, conflict, fear. It is exactly in this chaos that God asks the man's conscience, "Where is Abel your brother?" And Cain responds, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" Genesis 4:9. We too are asked this question. It would be good for us to ask ourselves as well. Am I really my brother's keeper? Yes, you are your brother's keeper. To be human means to care for one another. But when harmony is broken, a metamorphosis occurs. The brother who is to be cared for and loved becomes an adversary to fight and kill. Let me say that again. I think that really pertains to what's happening right now. When harmony is broken, a metamorphosis occurs. The brother who is to be cared for and loved becomes an adversary to fight and kill. Back to Pope Francis. What violence occurs at that moment? How many conflicts, how many wars have marked our history? We need only look at the suffering of so many brothers and sisters. This is not a question of coincidence, but the truth. We bring about the rebirth of Cain in every act of violence and in every war, all of us. And even today, we continue this history of conflict between people. Even today, we raise our hands against our brother or sister. Even today, we let ourselves be guided by idols, by selfishness, by our own interests, and this attitude persists. We have perfected our weapons, our conscience has fallen asleep, and we have sharpened our ideas to justify ourselves. As if it were normal, we continue to sow destruction, pain, and death. Violence and war lead only to death. They speak of death. Violence and war are the language of death. Thus ends our reading of Pope Francis. I hope these efforts from this old pew bring some thought, bring some joy, maybe, and at least helps as we all walk down our spiritual path. And as you go out today, I bid you peace and have some fun today.